Hi, I'm Jon Matlack, and welcome to today's Mililani Minute. Today I'll be talking to you about a psalm, Psalm 34. I would encourage you to take the time and read it. It's only 22 verses long. But today I'm going to be kind of focusing on 10 verses, and honestly, I'm not going to have time to read all 10 of those verses. But let's take a look at Psalms 34, starting in verse 4. David, the author of this psalm, writes, I sought the Lord, and he heard me, and delivered me from all my fears. Right here, we have David seeking the Lord and being delivered from his fears. And when I saw this verse, it jumped out at me because right now, a lot of us are dealing with a lot of fears. And we can see in this verse how David found deliverance from his fears by seeking the Lord. And you'll note it wasn't David who delivered him from his fears, but when he sought the Lord delivered him from his fears. And when you read the psalm, you'll notice in the superscript that this is when he had just come from the king of the Philistines, and he had been delivered by acting as a man, been delivered from the king of the Philistines and been set free. And here he is praising the Lord because when he sought the Lord, he freed him from his fears. But then as you go down, he goes on a little bit more into it. In verse 6, he says, this poor man cried out, and the Lord heard him, and saved him out of his troubles. The angel of the Lord encamps all around those who fear him, and delivers them. So he's referring to himself as this poor man who leans on the Lord for protection. And the Lord, the angel of the Lord there, is the idea of the Lord. The Lord comes and encamps around him. Or in Job, he uses the term, builds a hedge around him. But the Lord is his protection around him. Because why? Because he fears the Lord. And I want to just kind of draw a contrast here. You have the fear that he's delivered from by seeking the Lord. And then you have the fear of the Lord, which causes his deliverance. Now, when we think of being afraid, if we're afraid of the epidemic that's going on, we may be very concerned, we may be worried, we literally may worry ourselves sick, we may hide, we may cower. But that's not the same kind of fear that we see with the idea of fearing the Lord. That is more the idea of a parent and a child. If a child is misbehaving, they may fear the Lord, they may fear their parents. Really, they're fearing the discipline from their parents. But they have that close relationship with their parents, so that there's the fear and the respect and the love all in that relationship. But the fear of the discipline causes the child to behave, which is what we see later on in the psalm as David is talking. As we come down, we're going to take a look at verses 12 through 14. It says, who is the man who desires life and loves many days that he may see good? Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking lies. Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. This is the demonstration of how we can live our lives as we seek God and are delivered from our fear, and our fear of God gives us this righteous living that he's talking about. This is that the opposite of living in fear now is being empowered through our fear of God to live righteously, to not be deceitful and not try to hide behind lies or other evil acts, to depart from evil and to do good and seek peace and pursue it. That is how God will work in our lives to deliver us from our fears. It's not a promise that everything will turn out fine and dandy, but it is a promise that God will deliver us from our fears. He will take care of us. He will be our protection, our hedge, and he will empower us to live this lifestyle of denying evil and seeking right living. I would encourage you, again, read the whole passage and be in the scriptures so that you can be learning how to walk rightly and how to live this righteous life. Thank you.